Andrew Carter has a private plane.
Yeah.
Hey, we were going to leave earlier, but we decided to wait. Didn't want to miss this.
Yeah, right. Like church, everybody spreading out. No, my press conferences are not like church. I just thought I better change that. Amen, brother. Okay.
Questions?
Roy, first time you played Pitt, they kind of used the three-point shot as an equalizer at maybe 13. What can your team do better tomorrow?
We got to defend the three-point line with more of a sense of urgency. It's a hard matchup because, you know, Jamel, and Michael Young, I mean, they're two of their biggest players, and they shoot a lot of threes. And Cameron Johnson made 6 of them here. The Jones youngster, who I think had made 3 in the conference season up until our game, makes 2 in the game. So it was a big part of their offense. And the games that they've won and played really well, they've made a lot of threes. And so we've got to have a greater sense of urgency to get to the three-point line. Try to do a better job guarding the ball ourselves so we don't have to help. But it is a tough matchup for us. I mean, we've got Isaiah or Kennedy out there guarding somebody that's going to shoot some threes. So we understand that, but we still got to do a better job of it.
Opposing teams, I think, are 7 for 40 the past couple games from 3 against you guys. Has to you guys done a better job, or is that just a matter of them missing shots, or how do you carry it?
Probably a little bit of both. I think we've worked on it a lot the last 2 or 3 weeks, but I feel like we've worked on it a ton the whole season. But you know, again, in Virginia game, I really felt like that they had a lot of open shots. When I looked at it on the game tape, they did have a lot of open shots, but maybe not quite as many as I thought because we got a little bit closer to them. But I'd like to take 7 for 40 the next couple of games.
Aside from shooting the 3, what is Pitt doing better in the last couple of games since they played you guys?
You know, they do some things really well. They're defending their zones. I think that when they played us, it was one of the first games that they played a lot of zone, and that's helped them. They do a great job of shooting the three-point shot, as we talked about. They also do a great job of getting to the free throw line, and they're a good free throw shooting team. Against us, it was one of our cleanest games defensively. Maybe we weren't so close. We weren't even close to them. They had so many open threes, but I think they only shot 5 or 6 free throws against us. But, you know, it's just a matter of time. I mean, they 4 starters back from the team that went to the NCAA tournament last year. And so they've got that. It was just a transition from one coach to a new coach. I think it took them a little longer to get to know Kevin, took Kevin longer to get to know them. But, you know, if you were to be starting the season over right now, I would probably think that they wouldn't have the record where they are right now after whatever it is, 15 games or whatever.
There's a silver lining to playing this Saturday, Monday. How much do you benefit from having played both of these? Are the second time around with these teams as opposed to?
Well, you do have more knowledge, but the difficult thing about playing on the road on Saturday and the road on Monday is your body. And so I still don't think it's any silver lining because your body is the one thing that's, you know, just because you have knowledge doesn't make you have more energy or anything like that. But there is something to that you play in teams that you've already played and you know them a lot better. Saturday, Monday, both on the road thing is really difficult.
Do coaches have an avenue to voice your opinion about playing 2 games in 3 days like this to the league, or is whatever you say to us, that's pretty much the only thing you have?
I don't think we have an avenue to say anything anytime. You're talking to the wrong guy there. I think we're like the mushrooms, just keep them in the garden, throw the crap on them and hope it grows.
That's definitely not true.
That'll help.
They said it wasn't church, but that's where you make a mushroom grow. That's what I think we are as coaches. We don't have to say anything.
Well, you guys have won the opening tip-off a very high percentage of the time this year. I'm not exactly sure what the number is. I'm trying to track that down, but it's been a lot. How important?
It's amazing to say that because the last 5 or 6 games, we think we've won it once or twice. So you just, as coaches, you just remember only the recent games, I guess. Well, we got a good jumper.
Right.
In Isaiah. We didn't have it in North Carolina State. Can't remember if we won the tip over there or not, but not North Carolina. He did play against somebody. Duke, yeah. We work on it a little bit because it does possibly give you one extra possession a game, and you know, there's not that many jump balls. I still go back. Steve remembers this. played Georgia Tech a long time ago. I always think if you win the opening tip, then they get the ball to start the second half, and if there is a tie-up late game situation, it's your ball. And against Georgia Tech, it was a tie-up late game situation, and we had the lead, a 2-point lead or whatever it was, and it was a jump ball that went to them, and they scored. So I always think it's important, but it is one possession.
Without ringing up big point totals last couple games, I know that you don't like that style or those low totals, but did you gain something from that in the big picture?
Well, I think it was really two weird games. I'm thinking, Virginia and Louisville. Virginia, style of play made it. I think both the teams, when us and Louisville, we didn't shoot it very well, and we didn't run up and down like we both like to. I think, and I can't tell you what the reason was. If I'd known it during game time, I would have changed it for sure. But I don't think either one of us wanted a low-scoring game. Whereas Virginia, they want a low-scoring game for the other team and a high-scoring game for them, but that's just their style of play. But I would have thought that the Louisville game would have been much bigger than, 137 points. I would have thought it would have been a lot more than that.
Roy, knowing that it's a difficult next couple of days, two difficult games, is there any benefit down the road when you hope in the NCAA tournament you're going to be playing 3 weekends in a row, where you're going to be playing 2 games in 3 days?
It's one difference is you're in the same location, so you're not traveling back and forth and all that. You do get them ready for tournament play. You build your momentum once you get in the tournament. So, you can make a case for it that is preparation, and that's the reason we do try to play an exempt event, get some preparation for tournaments there. But it's different. You're playing conference games, and we could leave Pittsburgh and back for the cons when I started. Go to Pittsburgh and then stay up there, or go to Charlottesville. But we like to come back home. You're still not in your home scenario, and that's the toughest thing for me is that. But conference play gets you ready for tournament play. I've said that all along, but I do think that the Saturday, Monday turnaround is difficult. I think Virginia, did Virginia have both of them on the road last week?
Yes. Here in they were at home with Miami Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were away. I think that's just difficult.
Duke had at Wake and at Notre Dame back in January.
Is there a March mindset, and if so, do you sense your team is trending toward that right now?
I think there is, but I don't think we're there. I mean, we talk about how important the regular season is to our team all the time. Let's play right now and not be looking down the road. If you look down the road too much, I always say that's where you're going down the road back home. You don't take care of your business. And so the ACC regular season is extremely important to us. And, we start talking about postseason play after we play the last home game. I mean, that's really the only time we ever start talking about it, because we have short-term goals, long-term goals. But I think the regular season, if you're going to play something for 18 games, 9 weeks, that's pretty important.
We talked a lot in October, November about leadership on this team, and at that time it was coming from the upperclassmen. Has that continued to now? Has there been somebody that kind of step up in that leadership?
No, it's a shared deal. The seniors and Joel and Justin deal, and he's back playing. I think they've really done a nice job, but it's been much more a shared thing than it's been sometimes in the past when you had a David Noel or a Marcus Page who just felt very comfortable in that role. We've had to have good leadership because we started out and thought everybody was helping, and then lose Theo, and then get him back, and then lose him, and then get him back, and now we lost Kennedy. I just looked in the first 6 minutes of the Pitt game here, he drew 2 charges, and so the leadership has to take care of those things, because we lost Tony, we lost Joel, we lost Theo, we lost Kenny, we missed Isaiah, so it's been important for everybody to stay on the same page, and I think they've done a nice job.
Do you have a preference?
Yeah, not lose anybody. But you're talking about leadership.
Right.
Okay.
Whether you'd have one person like a Marcus or a Bryce.
I don't really have a preference. I like to let it happen. staff said a lot of times that I've got to be bigger, but it depends on the team. With Marcus, he was easy. I mean, even his freshman year, he had tremendous leadership skills. It was just an easy transition, and people trusted, they respected him and trusted him, and so that was one of the easier ones. We've had pretty good leadership about every year. It just sort of comes naturally with the way we try to play and run the thing, I guess.
I know senior day is still more than a week away, but Stillman White is going to be playing his final home game after what seems like forever.
Yeah.
Here, have you ever had another guy in your program 6 years? I know he was gone for 2 seasons with the
No.
mission.
Never had got to take a Mormon mission. Scott Pollard put off his Mormon mission and played for us the whole time in Kansas. But I've never had a guy for 6 years. I've had a few guys for 5, not many. But Still's been around a while. We get senior day tomorrow. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not thinking about our senior day.
How would you characterize what he's kind of been to you guys over these past several years?
This year he's really been good. He's really been good in practice, and the times that I've given him times in a game, he's done some good things, even though he didn't intend to bank that shot in the other day. I asked him, he said when he let it go, it felt really good. But I said, well, it ended up, I thought it must have felt really good. I said, but I didn't think he was trying to bank it. But he's been fantastic for us in practice. He's been hard for the guys to handle. He's tried to do what the other team, the preparation, the scout team, or whatever you want to call it. But I even told him the other day, I said, I praised him in front of everybody, and that maybe I haven't even given him as many chances as he really deserved. And then I said that you'd rather have my praise like that, or you'd rather have some plus points to get out of running and me not say anything. Man, Coach, that's a hard decision. He's really been a treat for us.
Does that seem like forever ago when he started that game against Kansas in 2012? I mean,
Yeah, that was a long, long time ago.
5
So,
years, yeah.
5 seasons, I guess, and that was a tough situation for him, and I would have liked our chances if Kendall hadn't gotten hurt, and he did some nice things, but he doesn't, at that point, didn't make that many plays for other people, but he didn't hurt us. So I thought he could have been one of those great stories if we'd kept going.
Back to the importance of the regular season, do you have the standings posted somewhere where the guys see them all the time or anything like that, or?
No.
No? Do you think guys come in with understanding the importance of the regular season? Is it
Well,
ingrained, or do you?
We say it early in the season, we want to win the regular season championship. That's one way to get a banner up. So we established that as one of our goals, and had some really good teams down the stretch that I've said, you're in control. Play yourself, don't worry about anybody else, just play yourself. And, that's the position that this club is in right now, but I think it should mean something. So we do emphasize it when you're even in the preseason talking about what our goals are.
Boy, this is kind of a look ahead, but look behind question.
Okay.
For so long, there was the New York pipeline, going back to McGuire and Coach Smith. What is it about New York basketball now? It doesn't seem, not just here, but just universally, it doesn't seem like as many kids are really being produced here.
We haven't recruited New York a ton like North Carolina did in the old days by any means. But there's so many good players still in New York. I mean, my gracious, there are really good players there, but there's really good players from other places as well. Coach McGuire was very comfortable there. Had so many contacts there, it was really important. And then when Lenny Rosewood and Tommy Kearns and those guys came down, then they set a bar, and some of the New York guys saw that. And then when Coach McGuire left and went to South Carolina, he had people coming down there. And Coach Smith had so many tremendous contacts that you still kept recruiting there. And we haven't done that much of it. We've done some guys we really, really liked, but I haven't limited myself to any area. When I was at Kansas, I felt like we had trouble coming east, so I went to California a lot, and we had quite a bit of success there, so we kept going. But here I haven't necessarily, well, Kansas we had a lot of success in Iowa too, and part of that is continued here as well, but there's still a ton of really good players in New York. There's really good players in North Carolina too. I like recruiting those kids too.
When you were first here, you recruited a lot from LA, Deion and Alex and Larry. Are you still recruiting quite as much, or is that pared down some?
Not as much, but we're still, we're not limited geographically, but, we had 4 transfers here and they were all from Los Angeles. So I said, well, maybe it's not as good as I thought it was, but we still, I would still go there if it was right. I still have a lot of good friends I think would see kids and give us good recommendations. But I want to recruit North Carolina more than anywhere.
Roy, when do you remember the first concept of like positionless basketball? You hear that term being thrown around a lot with, guys just playing all 5 spots or all 4 spots, and the stretch 4 and this and that. When do you remember that becoming a real trend?
Oh, man, the terminology was, what was his first name, Mason, played for the Knicks. Anthony Mason, he was the first guy I ever heard call a point forward. I think he was the first one ever heard call that, but we play a freelance motion passing screening game here, which in itself makes them positionless. I have to say, okay, you go in for, you're the 1, you're the 2, you're 3 to run out of bounds plays. But so I've been doing that ever since I started being a head coach, because that's what we played with Coach Smith, was a freelance motion offense with screens or without screens. And so that in itself is what it is. You have to have, and you may not have to have numbers out of bounds. I don't know. I just always had them make it easier for them to remember. But other than Anthony Mason, I think that's the first point forward I ever heard of. But the game has changed because of the 3-point line and the importance of the 3-point line. And you still have guys like me that still believe the inside game is just as important. Other guys think the 3-point line is more important. I happen to want a big balance of both. But I can't think of anybody before Anthony Mason. And the way we've always played, I've had big guys out on the court. Ray Flafrance, when he played in Kansas, he shot 3s. Tyler Hansbrough shot some 3s. So it's the way we play, it's sort of been positionless anyway.
Has it made it more difficult to find kind of like a true power forward, a true center these days?
Well, there's no such thing as a true power forward. You're either a center or you think you're supposed to be the point guard, that kind of thing. So, but I find guys that I look for guys who can score inside and can get the other team in foul trouble. And Marvin Williams was an inside player who could really shoot. Jawad Williams was 6'9", who could really shoot. Tyler Hansbrough could really shoot, but his value to us was getting the other people in foul trouble and playing inside. You do have a lot of kids that don't want to be a center, but every now and then you'll find one that realizes what he is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being a center, so we recruit any combination of them. Anybody else?
All right, thank you.
Good.